The butler pulled out his belt. He whipped it down hard at the dog. He kept striking the dog over and over. The dog managed to break free from its collar. It ran off into the distance. The butler chased after it relentlessly. Just then the Duke drove up. The girl watched the dog running toward her. The Duke asked what was happening. The butler shouted not to open the door, but the girl deliberately opened the gate. She let the dog rush right out. The Duke saw the belt in the butler's hand. He instantly understood the man had beaten his dog. The Duke told him to pack up and leave immediately. The dog then began its 1,000-mile journey home. The dog's name was Lassie. She once had a happy family. A little master named Joe who loved her dearly, and a sweet best friend too. Lassie was incredibly smart. Every day she would go pick up Joe from school. This was her favorite thing to do. The Duke and his granddaughter were visiting the town. They spotted Lassie out on a walk. The girl fell in love with her. So the Duke sent his butler to buy Lassie. Joe's father was a coal miner. Police had blocked off the mining area. No more digging was allowed there. Joe's father had lost his job too. This was a devastating blow to their family. They had no choice but to sell Lassie. Lassie was locked up in a cage. She lay on the ground refusing to eat or drink. When it came time for Joe to get out of school, Lassie desperately wanted to get out. Soon she dug a hole and slipped away. Joe was thrilled to hug Lassie after school, but the butler was already waiting at his house. On the way back to the Duke's estate, a flock of sheep blocked their path. Lassie seized the chance to open the car door. She stepped on the sheep and ran off. Soon the father and son brought Lassie back, because Lassie no longer belonged to them. The next day as Joe's school time approached, Lassie tried to dig another hole, but the ground had been blocked with wooden boards. Lassie still figured out a way. She got a running start and climbed over the wire fence. Joe hid Lassie away. His father told Joe they had made a fair deal. Lassie now belonged to the Duke. Keeping her would be stealing. The Duke was taking Lassie to Scotland. Scotland was very far away. She would never run back from there. Lassie would start a new life on the Duke's estate, but Lassie could never be tamed. Butler Hines lost his patience. Jenny deliberately let Lassie escape, after experiencing various hardships along the way. Finally reaching the familiar town, the townspeople were all praying in church. She went to Joe's school entrance. The long journey had left her completely exhausted. She finally collapsed. Her best friend discovered Lassie. He found Joe and pulled him outside. When Joe arrived, heavy snow had buried half of Lassie's body. Father carried Lassie home. All the townspeople were moved by Lassie. Everyone except Hines. To get his job back at the estate, Hines actually brought police to take Lassie away. So with the whole family accompanying her, Lassie was sent back to the Duke again. The wealthy man looked at injured Lassie. His heart was deeply shaken.
Suppose you think I'm an old buffer who's easily fooled. This isn't my dog.
Hines tried to keep making excuses, but the Duke ordered him to leave. The Duke hoped Joe's father would become his pet manager. Their whole family could live on the estate. Eventually Lassie returned to her original condition, living happily with her family.